So, okay, if we are ready, I will start. Welcome everyone to our webinar, Everything You Need to Know About Smooth and its Platform. This is the first webinar in a series of 4 that we have planned and that will take place every 2 weeks from now on at the same time, more or less. Thank you for being here. My name is Thomas Wilczek. I am the project manager at Fundingbox for the Smooth project, which we're going to present to you more in depth today. Please let me introduce you to our speaker today, Rosa Araujo, who is the Smooth project coordinator from our partner Eurecat, and who will show you more in depth why Smooth could be important for you and how it can help you with your company. I will then give you more information about our upcoming test pilots and how you can become a better tester and even receive some rewards for it if you help us. And we will finalize then with a Q&A session, so please write down your questions. There will be time for you to post them in the chat here, and we will then go through them and try to respond them all. And I think that's it. Without further ado, please let me give you the floor, Rosa. Hello, Rosa.
Hello. Hello, good morning, everyone. And thank you very much for your interest in the project. My name is Rosa Araujo, and I'm the coordinator of Smooth. I work for Eurecat as project manager, and I have been working on European projects for more than 10 years. And why Smooth, why we are here today? The idea of the project came from the entry into force of the GDPR, the new data protection law that affects all types of companies, regardless of their size. Complying with GDPR is a challenge for SMEs because apart from the lack of awareness, they can hardly afford professional legal advice due to their lack of data protection expertise and their limited resources. Microenterprises are especially sensitive in the implementation of the GDPR. And on the other hand, SMEs are the backbone of the European economy. They employ 2 out of 3 employees and represent the 99.8% of the European non-financial sector. What we did at the beginning of the project was a survey with 100 SMEs for having a thermometer about the degree of knowledge that organizations had about GDPR and how they were prepared to apply the required measures to be compliant. From the feedback received, what we have found was that, for example, regarding legal basis relied, only 12% say that never rely on consent for processing and storing personal data, and 80% makes use of informed consent forms only. For processing sensitive data, then the 76% of the microenterprises indicated that they didn't know whether they or not they were processing personal special categories of data. For security measures, for example, a rather alarming result was that only the 35% answered positively to the question whether they applied some basic security measures. Yeah, and in what refers to the online presence, the 88% of the microenterprises that took part in the questionnaire own a website, and the 53% has a mobile app. From the results of the pilot, still not all the microenterprises have the necessary informative documents in their websites. And for example, terms of use are used by the 74% of the respondents, privacy policies only by 65%, and cookie policies only by 53%. A large number of microenterprises are self-employed, such as the hairdresser on the corner, the local florist, the mechanic, and when they are asked if they have a consent form to keep their clients' contact details, such as name, address, telephone number, they don't really know what a consent form is. Many of them have no digital background or legal knowledge because of the great lack of previous education about GDPR. Then, in view of this, the Smooth project has first identified those needs for SMEs. And what it's trying is to help SMEs to move to actual compliance with the GDPR and creating awareness by launching an easy and affordable solution. Now, we are going to see how Smooth can help you. Smooth is an European-funded project by Horizon 2020 call in digital security. It started in May 2018 and will finish in January next year. In order to help SMEs, Smooth project aims to assist organizations to comply with key requirements of the GDPR by designing and implementing an easy-to-use and affordable cloud platform service. Smooth Platform is a cloud tool to become the reference solution in Europe for GDPR validation for microenterprises. It will be launched in English, Spanish, Latvian, and Italian, and will be extensible to other languages. In terms of objectives, what we had clear was that Smooth Platform had to be simple and easy to use by users with limited or not knowledge at all of data protection legislation. It has to be inexpensive so that any microenterprise can afford it. It has to assess compliance against key aspects of the GDPR, providing guidance and recommendations to any sector of activity. For achieving our goals, Smooth is developing advanced technologies for automatically assess compliance with the key elements of the GDPR, such as the automated analysis of the text documents related to the protection of personal data, such as privacy policy, cookie notice, inform of consent form. We have also Smooth data that automatically analyzes the databases to identify the presence of personal data, the types of data, and compliance with the data minimization principle. And we have also a model for the automated analysis of personal data collection and exploitation from cookies by third parties in websites and mobile apps. The results of the individual compliance test that these technologies have developed are complemented with contextual information of the microenterprise under analysis. During the registration process in the Smooth platform, the microenterprise is asked to fill in a questionnaire with contextual information on its processing activities. And this information is to be used together with the automated test results to generate a compliance report, providing feedback on the key aspects of compliance, and in case of non-compliance, guidance and recommendations on how to remedy the identified problems. To cover the company's diversity and to assess the potential of the platform, the consortium has focused on 3 different verticals that are traditional microenterprises, digital, and the men's managing sensitive data. For the first pilot, we recruited 100 men, being 31% traditional, 58% digital, and 11% dealing with special categories of data. For traditional men, we mean companies running traditional businesses that are used by everyday million of citizens, such as retail shops, real estate agencies, repair shops, restaurants, and so on. For digital men's, these are the ones that mostly are small technological startups that offer online services or interact with their customers using websites or mobile apps. And for men's dealing with special categories of data are mainly typical examples, for example, the health sector, doctors, psychologists, physiotherapists, pharmacies. What Thomas will explain later is that we are starting a second pilot with 60 companies to validate the complete system, including the compliance report, and now in July, and the last 3 months of the project, we intend to involve 500 companies for the market validation. In parallel, also from the Smooth Consortium, we are developing a handbook to fill the gap of education and awareness. This will be an online interactive handbook to provide guidance, examples, videos, and links to external resources. It will explain how GDPR affects SMEs and the procedures to follow in order to be GDPR compliant. It will be launched very soon, I think next month, finally, in 2 versions, in website and mobile app. And just to let you know who is behind Smooth. As legal partners, we have Q11 University and 1 DPA, that is the Latvian DPA, the Latvian Data Protection Agency. And also forming part of the advisory board, we have the Italian DPA. As SME representatives, we count with Funding Box and ESBA, the European Small Business Association. As technical partners developing the technological solutions, we have UC3M, is the University in Madrid, India, and Listec for the website and mobile module. And we have NAVER and Eurecat for the legal documents analysis, and NEC and also Eurecat for the databases analysis. We count also with a standardization body that is UNE. This is all from my side. Now, thank you very much for your attention. We'll leave the questions if anybody wants to ask until to the end of the session. I hand over the baton to Thomas to explain how to participate in the pilot.
Yes, thank you, Rosa. Thank you for the presentation. So yeah, how to participate in the pilots. I'm part, just since Rosa has just presented the consortium once again, and for people who have arrived a bit later, I'm Thomas Wilczek. I'm part of Funding Box. I'm a project manager here. and deal with the funding box part in the Smooth project, which is mainly the management of the pilots, recruiting people to test the pilot, to help testing via the pilots, and also managing a little bit the community and then other communication issues. So how to become a beta tester? It's fairly straightforward. As you can see here, this is the website, the Smooth website, smoothplatform.eu, where you will find in general all the information you need and the different links that you require to inform yourself about the project. In order to become a beta tester, you would have to go to the tab at the top right, center right, which you can see here in blue. It's called Get Involved. And you click that tab and you come to this page, the Get Involved page, where you have a bit of an explanation. And at the bottom, you have a link where you can click through to the application site. On the application site, you will just have to fill that out to be considered as beta tester. Next slide, Rosa, thank you. So to become a beta tester, it's a very straightforward and simple process. As you can see here, on the one hand, once you are on the application site, you fill out that form. You will then automatically receive a confirmation email with access to the Smooth platform that is to be tested, and with further information and tutorial on how to test the platform, what you have to fill in, which is actually the next step, the entry questionnaire that you have to fill in, and a user experience evaluation survey. And that's pretty much it about the beta testing. The second pilot starts at the 1st of July. And as Rosa said, then in October, we have a bigger pilot where we will be testing more like the market readiness. So at the moment, it's still about fine-tuning the platform, let's say. That is in July. And of course, we want to have your feedback about how the experience is, so we can finalize the platform. Next slide, please. And of course, we will give you certain rewards depending on what you do. Of course, first of all, by testing the platform, you will be able to assess your GDPR compliance level, the one of your company. You will get a report about that, as Rosa just explained before. So you can actually assess and see where you're compliant and where you're not, and you get some guidance. But a part of that, we have two participation or testing modalities, and depending on those modalities, you get different rewards. So just fairly quickly, the modality 1, you would just complete the entry questionnaire, nothing else. That will take you around 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And as a reward, a part of the report, you would get a 1-year free subscription to the Smooth platform, which is the equivalent to 6 reports, more or less, once the platform is public, of course, once it's finalized. The modality 2, you would, as participant, complete the entry questionnaire and the user survey that we saw before. That takes a little bit longer. And on top of the 1-year free subscription, you would get a €60 Amazon voucher. Again, once the platform is public. And then we have a modality 3, which is a bit more interactive, to give us more direct data. That can only be done by 60 beta testers, so we have a limitation there. just due to the resources. So that modality is actually you filling out the entry questionnaire and the user survey during a Skype session with one of our researchers, so that there is a more direct interaction. In order to do that, you would have to register by an email address, which we will provide to you 1 week before the pilot starts. Again, the pilot starts 1st of July 2020, and the reward would be 100 euros Amazon voucher and 1 year free subscription once the platform goes live. That's sort of everything you need to know about the beta testing. Then if there are any questions, and in general any questions, we do have an online community. Next slide, please, Rosa. Thank you. We do have an online community. That is what I said about Funding Box. We manage, in general, our platform is a tool to manage communities. So of course, there is a smooth community on it. I will tell you now how to register. It's very simple. You also have here the URL where you can get directly to the smooth community. We have different spaces that you can then go into in the community. One is Smooth Introduce Yourself, which is really sort of a generic channel where we post information about the project and where you can interact with your peers. We are keen to build a community here of micro enterprises and of SMEs that are interested in this topic. So it's sort of a space where you can network, present your company, maybe do business connections. That would be that space. Then we have a support space where you can send general questions. We are monitoring these spaces, so these questions will be responded. We will forward them to the experts within the Smooth project. And then more linked to the beta testing, so to the pilot, there are two spaces. One is Smooth Legal Concern and Smooth Pilot Bugs, where you can ask your questions, legal questions or technical question if you see any bug or have any further questions technically, and we will then forward them to the experts. In this way, we are creating sort of a knowledge base where you can always go back to, because of course the questions and the responses will be there visible for you. Next slide, please. So how to sign up? Of course, this Smooth community is located on the Funding Box platform, on the Funding Box tool. It's a very simple sign-up process. You go to spaces.fundingbox.com, then you click on sign up, as with any other website. It's of course for free. Next slide. You sign up, you fill in a very short form with your name and your email address, and then you provide a username and a password, which you will always be able to use on the platform within the Smooth community or within other communities that you might want to join. Okay, next slide. Once you have done that, you will be presented with the Funding Box landing page. Here you can see on the left-hand side, there you have sort of a dashboard where you can see the different communities that you join if you're interested in more communities, and in general things about news, etc., that Funding Box works on. And at the top left corner, there's a search bar. You just type in Smooth. Next slide. Sorry, I'm too fast. You just type in Smooth, and then you will be taken to the Smooth website. to the Smooth community, sorry. And yeah, that's it. Then you will be able to participate and help us grow the community, and hopefully, yeah, we are able to support you there. Next slide. And I think that's all from our side as well. We can now do the Q&A session. What I will do is I will read out the questions loud in the chat, and I hope Rosa and myself, we are able to respond them. So please feel free to post them. I'm seeing Lenny Octavia. Is it Smooth Project EU or Smooth Platform.eu? It's Smooth. It's Smooth Platform. It's Smooth Project.eu is the general website with all the information, and then Smooth Platform EU is actually the page that we are testing and that will later be available, which is the tool where you can do your compliance check. So there's two different ones. The first one is just a generic website, which has the other one in it. I hope that responds to the question, Rosa. Am I explaining that right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Totally right.
Okay. Eduardo, Emilio, good morning to all. Hello, good morning, Eduardo. Why not a PT version? In my view, there's a significant market opportunity. Companies with 1 to 10 employees, I would be willing to collaborate with a project in achieving this goal. Rosa, I think I will have to hand this question over to you.
Willing to collaborate. Well, maybe you could send us a message and give us more hints on your message to know how we could collaborate together. Yes.
Okay.
Being through the Funding Box community or maybe directly, I think we've put our emails in our presentations, I think, no? Let me see. Yes, no. Yeah.
Yes.
My email is here. If you want to contact me directly to look for potential collaborations, I will be very happy to know how, if it's for participating in the pilots. Thomas has already explained how. Okay, thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, great. Any more questions? Yes, there's another question. Pablo, you can access the Smooth community here. Oh, okay, Pablo has posted the Smooth community URL there, just in case. But anyway, this webinar will be posted on the website, and you will have access to the presentation, so you can go back to it. And we hope to see a good number of you in 2 weeks in the next webinar, anyway. Okay, if there are no further questions, thank you for being here, for your interest, and yeah, please join us, join the community, write to us, interact, and of course, please feel free to sign up for the next webinar. We believe the series is quite interesting for any micro enterprise or SME or entrepreneur. Rosa, I'm not sure if you want to add anything.
No, just to thank you everyone for the attention and the interest in the project. I'm willing to see them all as beta testers for the platform very soon.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.